It's Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance in Kern County today, and we are joined by Kyle Carter. He is a trustee on the Kern County Community College District. He is also a mayoral nominee for the beautiful city of Bakersfield, California. Congratulations, sir. A very crowded field. How many ran? 25?
25 ran. We're down to 2 now.
And you're down to 2. The big question is, why is a successful businessman, a musician, a husband, why are you running for mayor? You got a good life. What made you decide to make this leap?
Well, there's some things here in our town that I just think that I'm the guy to fix. There's several issues here that have been kind of brewing over the years that I would like to bring to a close if I can.
Let's talk about one of your key platform issues, and that deals with the map of Bakersfield. If you look at a map of Bakersfield, let's just say there are a lot of areas that are not contiguous with each other. There are a lot of holes in that map. The entire city is just a jigsaw puzzle with many pieces missing. Why is that?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the way that Bakersfield was developed and built over the years. If you think about how do we service all those areas, it's very, very difficult to service that. So
explain why.
Well, you have Bakersfield Police Department will drive right by what they call them county islands or peninsulas, and they'll drive right by and not service that area because that would have to be serviced by the sheriff's department.
The county.
Right. So there's other issues with sewer, with street lights, with the list just goes on and on.
Now, there's something called the Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO as we know it, and LAFCO is the entity, each county has its own LAFCO, that deals with issues of boundaries, annexation, and I understand that you're looking to bring up the question of annexation. Should these donut holes, should these county islands, these peninsulas, continue to remain an unincorporated Kern County, or should they join the great city of Bakersfield?
Well, that's obviously up to the islands. That would be up to the peninsulas.
And how would that work? When you say it's up to them, what happens?
Well, you don't drag them in. You don't force them in. That's something that you absolutely don't want to do. But if you can go to them and show them the benefits of coming into the city, and then go to the county and say, here's the benefits of having these come into the city. I think that we can get them done because there are some definite benefits.
Now, is there a vote by the island, I'll call it, or is it a signature campaign? How does it work?
Yeah, it could be a signature, something as simple as it's a simple annexation.
Right.
So if you want to vote on it, or if you want to have people sign up for it,
I'm not sure. How do we know that the community wants to join? How do you know that? I know you engage in your campaign to convince them.
Well, you'd have workshops, and
see.
then you would mitigate their reasons for not wanting to come in or wanting to come in. You'd take and mitigate those issues, and then I guess you'd take a vote or pass around a clipboard and everybody sign up for it or not. So
as we speak today, Bakersfield has about 360,000 residents, but if you look at the peninsulas, the islands, the donut holes, there's about another 140,000 that really are within the sphere of influence of Bakersfield. We're not talking about, miles away. We're talking about right next door. That's a different city. 360,000, a nice size city. 500,000, that's Long Beach. That's Fresno.
Well, that's Fresno. Fresno is the number 5 largest city in California. We're really as big as Fresno, and we just don't get to count those people. So with the bigger the city, the bigger the opportunities.
Explain.
Well, there's opportunities that will go to Fresno oftentimes, such as education opportunities. There's right now, Bakersfield is looking at several opportunities. One of them is high-speed rail.
Oh, yes.
There is a maintenance yard that, I'm going to fight like heck to get it here in Bakersfield, but the people in Fresno are fighting like heck too. I think they have an advantage over us because they're the 5th largest city. Water is always an issue for us. So if we are the 5th largest city in California, we can deal a lot better with our water problems. We'll have more clout. We'll have more pull. So with all these opportunities, and the bottom line here is jobs. Is jobs for us, jobs for our kids, jobs for the future generations. That's the reason we would want to do this.
Mr. Carter, as you've been campaigning and you've been talking about annexation, What have you been hearing? I mean, because in a lot of ways it's a very inside baseball type of discussion, but an important one. So are people understanding the benefits of it? Are you having to educate them?
Oh yes, it's an educational process. People, most of the time, people will come and say, "I don't want to be annexed because this reason or that." And after you sit and talk to them for a while and explain to them the reasons why, I have yet to have one person say, "You know, that sounds like a bad idea." Everybody is, I think, on board with it. It's just, again, it's back to mitigating those issues.
And what are
coming
the
up.
issues that you think you will need to mitigate?
It depends upon the county island. Each one has their own issues and their own reasons for wanting to stay out of the city.
Are there certain themes that keep coming up when you discuss mitigation?
Well, I could give you an example. There's
Please.
one that has, they have their own wells, the water wells, and they think if they come into the city, it's going to cost them more money on their water. But the truth be known, there's not adequate fire protection with those wells. They're putting themselves at risk. And so, you know, we've been able to tell people, you need to have
Right.
better water system here. You can keep your wells if you want them and use your wells, but still we would need to bring in a better water system in case there's that fire that burns 3 or 4 houses and you know,
Right.
your tanks are gone.
So, for argument's sake, Kyle Carter wins the election and he wants to look toward annexation. What's the process? How long does it take?
Well, we'd start with some workshops to see if there's some interest out there, and hopefully there would be. If there's not, then we drop that when we move on to something else. I don't want to expend a bunch of time that people have no interest in.
But
I just think this is a really good opportunity. If you look to the northwest part of us, Shafter, a little city that's to the northwest, they've annexed all the way up to our northwestern border. And if you look at the southeast, Arvin right now is 4 square miles, and they're adding an additional 5 square miles. They're going to be almost to our southeastern border. So this opportunity goes away if we don't take advantage of it.
Because
And
someone else could start annexing.
we're going to be landlocked. We're going to be landlocked. There is no opportunity to grow. And again, the bigger the city, the bigger the opportunities for that city. So,
As you continue to campaign, the election, of course, will be in November. What are the issues that you're hearing from constituents? What are the overriding concerns?
I think the biggest thing is always going to be jobs. Everything circles around jobs. If we could put people back to work, we would end our homeless, or we could help help our homelessness problem a lot. We could. There's this thing with the prison system. They let 10,000 people out of prison. What are those people supposed to do? If they don't have a family or some kind of support system, they go right back to crime. So if we were able to grab those people, get them back into a working position to where they could make a living and buy a home and start a family, I think they would find a reason to get out of crime. That's just
Right.
my own personal thoughts.
But these are tough times. We're coming out of a recession, yet Kern County faces dropping oil prices, faces a drought.
You can say all that stuff if you want to, and part of it might be true, but right now Kern County has a $40 billion GDP, gross domestic product.
That's real.
$40 billion. That's bigger than some nations have. And there's places out there that are running a nation on less taxable, income than we have. We have a bigger GDP than Fresno does. Fresno County. Fresno County's got a 37. So any day of the week, we're $3 billion more we have to work with than they do.
His name is Kyle Carter. He is a trustee with the Kern Community College District. He is a nominee for the mayoralship of the City of Bakersfield. That election will be held in November. I'm Brad Pomerance in Kern County, Charter Local Edition.